Long enough to cover the subject, short enough to keep it interesting. Welcome to Out of My League. I'm Nick Diaz. So Tom Brady, it's official. Tom Brady is a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. He's coming to the NFC South. So now big question. Is Tampa Bay with Tom Brady going to dethrone the New Orleans Saints? My short answer is, I'm not going to lie, I think there's a good chance. So let's think about this. Well, what does Tampa Bay have that New Orleans doesn't? I think New Orleans today has a better roster top to bottom, but what does Tampa Bay have that New Orleans doesn't have? Well, Tampa Bay has better perimeter weapons. They have more of them, I should say. The Saints have Michael Thomas, who's probably the best receiver in football, but he's not a deep threat, and he's the only really consistent, reliable perimeter player the Saints have. And that's not counting Alvin Kamara, who's a running back. Okay, well, what else does Tampa Bay have that New Orleans doesn't have? Well, according to Adam Schefter, since word surfaced that Tom Brady is expected to land in Tampa, an unexpected number of players have reached out to the Buccaneers to let them know they want to join the former Patriots QB there. So now, anything else that Tampa Bay doesn't have that New Orleans does have, maybe like a left tackle or a solid cornerback or defensive back, that could get fixed. So they have a lot more potential. They have a lot more cap space. What else does Tampa Bay have? Oh, one more thing. Tampa Bay doesn't have a choke artist named Drew Brees at quarterback. They've got the most clutch quarterback in NFL history. You don't like it? Well, here are the facts. Drew Brees the past few years has looked tired towards the end of the season, and the only reason why he didn't look that way last year towards the end of the season, not the playoffs, was because he got hurt for 5 weeks and got to rest his whole body. Blessing in disguise. Tom Brady, you can say what you want about him last year. He's aged better than Drew Brees. And that is without great help on the offensive side of the ball. Tom Brady has had to carry the offensive side of the ball with little to no help, and Drew Brees hasn't. Drew Brees has had multiple weapons, great offensive lines, running backs, and yet his decline towards the end of the season, and in the playoffs, is worse. Well, what about Tom Brady last year? Okay, so Tom Brady had no offensive line and receivers that couldn't separate or catch the ball. Julian Edelman, his best receiver, had the most drop passes he's had in his entire career. And if you look at Pro Football Focus, they went back and analyzed Tom Brady's QB rating, adjusted QB rating. He's a top 10 quarterback. Still, Tom Brady last year was Joe Burrow in 2018. Drop passes, offensive line that can't protect, all that stuff. Well, Tampa Bay, they weren't that great of a team. Their defense also stunk. Their defense stunk at the beginning of the season, mostly because they had a young defense. And by the end of the season, Tampa Bay, who's got a really good defensive coordinator, was top 10 in efficiency the last month of the season. Also, they had a guy named Devin White, who was injured part of the season, and then now is still learning how to play at that level. Something tells me he's going to be pretty good going forward. And also, Tampa Bay went 7-9 and lost a lot of close games. And it was with a quarterback, Jameis Winston, who threw 30 interceptions. Something tells me that number 12 won't be throwing that many interceptions for Tampa Bay next year. I'm worried, y'all. Do the Saints have a better roster top to bottom today? Yes. But when has that helped them in the past decade in big games? Well, seriously, when is the last time that has helped them having the better quarterback, arguably, and the better roster in the playoffs? Let me run through some forget roster. Let's just look at quarterbacks. Let me run through some quarterback names the past decade in the playoffs. Matt Hasselbeck in 2010. Or would you rather have Tom Brady today? Which one? Okay, Alex Smith in 2011. Or Tom Brady today. Case Keenum, 2017, the Minnesota Miracle. Would you rather have Case Keenum in 2017 or Tom Brady today with all those weapons? Would you rather have Jared Goff in 2018 or Tom Brady today? They played each other in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. Clearly Tom Brady was better. Last year, Kirk Cousins in 2019 or Tom Brady today. I think you get my point. Yes, Tom Brady is a more clutch quarterback than Drew Brees. Newsflash. And he's done it with fewer offensive weapons in his career. Drew Brees is a choke artist. Tom Brady is not. And sure, the Saints maybe when the season comes around, the Saints still have a better roster overall, but when has that mattered? After the names I just listed and the teams that they played in the past decade in the playoffs, when has that mattered? It hasn't. Everyone says that the Saints are getting screwed. No, the Saints are choke artists. And they're going to play the most non-choking quarterback in NFL history next year in their division. And if they have to play them twice in their division, something tells me they're probably going to play them again in a wild card game in the playoffs, even if the Saints do win the division. Tampa Bay is making the playoffs, and the Saints are probably going to have to see them. And if that's the case, I'm not rooting for the Bucs. I'm not rooting for Tom Brady, but I'm here to be objective. Something tells me Tampa will win that game. Thanks for listening to Out of My League. If you like what you heard, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. See you later.